weird and wonderful human beings, and welcome back to what is again another rendition of weird Swedish foods that I actually love. For those of you who are new here, my name is Eve Daniels, and I'm a grad student studying biomedical sciences here in the fabulous but sometimes odd country of Sweden. I have already made one of these videos before. If you haven't seen that, I will link it up somewhere in the ether. You can go ahead and check that out, but the last time I made one of these videos, you all really seemed to like it. Or at least have some very strong feelings on what I considered weird. So since that video was over 6 months old, I figured we were about due for a new one. And this time, we're going to be checking out some summer foods.
Nya Bob, bara bär och frukt.
Ingen plats för tillsatt socker. Du hittar oss i saft- och sylthyllan.
Soft. Soft is not juice. Soft is a fruit concentrate, kind of like a flavored sugar syrup almost. This is something that you add to water to make drinks. In the US, we have powdered fruit drinks like powdered iced teas and Kool-Aids. And then we also have those frozen ones in the freezer section that you're supposed to melt and turn into juice, but me and my brother just used to hack up and eat like ice cream. They were in a can, they were like grape or orange flavored. You know the ones I'm talking about. But here in Sweden, they do soft. You can get them in a variety of different flavors, from strawberry and pear, which I'll be getting to in a second, to elderflower and orange. And you can mix it to your own strength, which is really nice because if you just want a little, you can just have a little. If you want it to basically be pure syrup, you can do that too, I guess. You can do anything from super sugary sweet to just a dab. And side note, they work as great cocktail mixers. The big brand here is Bob, or B-O-B. I don't actually know what that stands for. It's mostly marketed to kids, but there are plenty of brands out there, and soft is a pretty common occurrence on like a lunch table or for a picnic, and you kind of just mix and match as you want. Side note, don't make the mistake of drinking it straight thinking it's juice, which it's definitely not, and it's definitely not something I've done before. Number 2, pear-flavored everything. We're talking ice cream, we're talking soft, we're talking candies, we're talking popsicles, we're talking jams. Pear is an incredibly common flavoring here in Sweden. It's very mild, it's not super artificial, and it's just lightly sweet. It's so common that honestly, I feel like it's almost up there with vanilla in like the rankings of things that you're gonna see in an ice cream bin. This stuff is absolutely everywhere, and it is good. It's nothing like the pear flavoring that I'm used to in the States, which quite frankly just tastes like chemicals and artificial sweeteners. This actually tastes like pear. It's subtle, it's sweet, it's very soothing, and it is, quite frankly, something that you start craving very quickly on a hot summer's day. And if you like these videos as much as the Swedes like pears, okay, no, but in all seriousness, if you like the video, go ahead and give it a like, click subscribe, leave a comment, do all the things. That really is how I know what you guys want to see and what you guys find interesting. Doesn't necessarily mean I'll always make it, but that I got such a big response on the last video is the reason I'm making this one, so it does work some of the time.
Filmjölk, A-fil, lättfil och långfil. Nu har det kommit en alldeles ny och annorlunda fil. Lätt och mjuk i smaken.
Okay, so this is something that we've recently been on a pretty serious binge with, but it's also something that before recently, we completely forgot about. And by we, I mean me, and my 100% Swedish father. Pear milk is a fermented milk product here in Sweden. It's made with cultures that eat the natural sugars in milk, otherwise known as lactose, and convert it into lactic acid. Because the bacteria eat all the sugar, aka lactose, veal milk is actually tolerable for people who have a mild lactose intolerance. It's still not something I recommend. The end result of this culture and sugar eating and lactic acid is a slightly thick but still pourable liquid, and it's kind of like yogurt, but not exactly, with a slightly sour taste almost. It's usually enjoyed with fruit and sometimes granola. We've been having ours lately with nyponsopa, which is a whole other thing, and my dad's hazelnut start cereal. Any way you have it, it's cool, it's refreshing, and it's a really great way to start off hot summer mornings here in Sweden, or as an afternoon snack that helps keep me from eating all the ice cream.
Här i soliga Kungshamn har vi på ABBA gjort svenska folkets favoritsill i över 100 år. Nu har vi förbättrat receptet och, jaha. Förbättrat receptet med mer kryddor och större bitar av lök. Nej men nu. Nästa gång du köper sill, vänd på burken så ser du själv.
Okay, so I know the title says foods I love, but in this case we're gonna go more with a have grown to tolerate. But it is something that I've sort of gotten used to and now expect to see on lunch tables here in Sweden. Sill is Atlantic herring, traditionally pickled in a mix of sugar, salt, and vinegar with a bunch of other different flavorings depending on the variety. And no, it is not that horrific Swedish canned fish product that you have seen floating around on the internet. That is called systraning, and it is a fermented fish product, and I'm not going anywhere near it. I'm not doing it. I don't care how many of you comment about it, I'm still not doing it. Okay? By comparison, sill is actually quite mild. It has a kind of flaky but rubbery consistency that's kind of hard to explain and sounds more off-putting than it actually is. Served at a wide variety of Swedish festivals, including midsummer, Christmas, Easter, birthdays, and just for lunch in the middle of summer because it's cold and it's there. I don't really know of another reason. It's often served on toast with butter or cheese, apparently, but my dad's never had it like that in his life. He always has it with boiled new potatoes, which is a separate type of potato, and gräddfil, which is kind of like sour cream, but not. There are a lot of different varieties these days, from onion to garlic to carrot to shrimp and kräftor. But the fundamental recipe hasn't changed that much. My preference is for the mustard sill because it was the one that I was introduced to. The mustard kind of covers up the fishy flavor, at least at first, and it's sort of a nice way to like dip your toes into the whole pickled fish situation. There are probably several dozen varieties, and your local supermarket's gonna have at least a half dozen at any given time, though which varieties they have in stock, it's gonna be a surprise depending on where you are.
So, I want to talk about Sweden! Sweden is having a moment!
Smörgåstårta.
What's on the inside?
Cheese and ham, fish. You want it, you put it in your cake.
Okay, this is like astoundingly not good to me.
Smörgåstårta! So this one you may have seen before, if only because of its absurdity and the fact that it makes the rounds on the internet every so often, just as clickbait gold. Smörgåstårta, or Swedish sandwich cake, isn't something you're gonna see every day, but it is something that you will probably see make an appearance on lunch tables during Swedish summer celebrations. It's typically reserved for celebrations common on midsummer or for summer birthdays. It involves several layers of bread filled with different fillings and then like frosted with a savory covering, usually a mix of like cream cheese and mayonnaise, and then decorated with cucumbers and radishes and salmon twirled into roses. If If you want to see a really good video of someone actually making a Swedish smorgasbord for the first time, I highly recommend that you go check out Yay! Go Me! And her YouTube channel. Her YouTube channel is also about exploring all of the new weird things here in the land of the Swedes, and quite frankly, she put in a lot more time and effort into hers than I did to mine. But I did actually make one for my birthday this year, and I have to say, I'm very pleased with how it turned out. Not only did it look good, but everyone ate it, which at least means it wasn't terrible. The version I made was vegetarian because some of my guests are vegetarian, so it had layers of beet salad and then egg salad, and it was topped with cucumbers and radishes, and because I'm allergic to shellfish, we used red pepper slices instead of little shrimps, and I think it came out swimmingly. That's it. That's all I've got for you. There were some more weird Swedish foods that I have come to know and love while living here in the wonderful land of Sweden. Let me know which one of those is your favorite, which one of those you'd like to try the most if you ever managed to get over here, or what I've completely messed up and gotten wrong. Drop a like, subscribe to see more videos, and I hope that wherever you are in the world, you are well, that you're taking care of yourself, and that you're doing good.